This program is rated PG. It contains themes and scenes which may not be suitable for very young audiences. Parental guidance is advised.
Be advised that the views and opinions of the hosts and guests do not reflect those of the station.
You are what you watch.
Hello, my name is Harriton Watco. Welcome to our program. Last week, we heard no less, well, I read it on print, Senate President Drilon saying to the Supreme Court, now, if only they would not accept all the cases filed in their court. Now, what if I turn that very question around? What if the executive department would stop legislation? Then maybe there would be no need for the judiciary to have to take, and the Supreme Court no less, to take on these cases that conflict with our Constitution, i.e. the BBL, i.e. the COMELEC, i.e. so many other things. And as of late, the academe called the K-12 program. Now, we have a lot of issues where this government, especially Pinoy's administration, seems to have taken on the judiciary, the legislative, etc., when they should be limited to what you call the executive. Now, there's a fine line in the distinction between the three different departments of government which are co-equal. There's a reason why there is that definitive line between them. In the legislative mill, there are stakeholders that are brought into place, brought into discussion, and the issues are taken one after the other. In the executive side, they are basically there to promote and follow and execute the laws that are put together. The judiciary, of course, as we all know, which only takes 100 years to date, it seems, for almost any and every resolution, is there to equalize the playing field. This way, we have what you call a democracy. Do we have a democracy then, I would ask, if the executive legislates? Again, how many examples has Pinoy taken on the legislative only to state what he wants? You be the judge. In this show, we will discuss K-12. Personally, I have not weighed in on the issue in the last few months. For reasons being, one, I am not exactly competent when it comes to the academic field, when it comes to the curriculum and the sensitive issues that go behind it. Today, I bring and I present in front of you Attorney Severo Brillantes, who has taken on, together with his school where his children are enrolled, the Manila Science High School, who as of tomorrow, so I guess this would be breaking news, is presenting themselves to the Supreme Court, going all the way up. Again, well, sorry to say, Senator Drilon, that they have to go above your heads simply because there was not enough study for this legislation that you should have done. Attorney Brillantes, thank you for being here with me. Now, you were supposed to file this case this morning.
Yes.
Naipit kayo. The reason being, kinulang ng mga papel, copies, Xerox copies.
Actually, when you go to the Supreme Court, you have to file a total number of 15
Kasi
copies.
there's 15 justices.
And not only that, you have to file in PDF form. In other words, you have
CD.
to submit a soft copy with a CD.
With a CD.
And the case may be may be dismissed on that technicality alone. So
the copies immediately are
and we have
voluminous.
7 respondents.
Can you
And we
handle
have this,
7?
no?
So
And
ganun kakapal na yan.
this is how thick the petition that we will be filing with the Supreme Court. with respondents as way up as the president, as way down as the principal of Manila Science High School.
Imagine. Now, what I find funny is 2 days in a row the Supreme Court is being bombarded with complaints. As of this morning, nauna na yung PhilCom SAT kasi sa unconstitutionality of the BBL. And now, can we call this complaint unconstitutionality of the K-12?
Yes.
How are you related first, before we tackle the issue, with Manila Science High School?
My youngest child, Atty. Brillantes, is a student of Manila Science High School.
Congratulations. He must be a very bright student to be in that school.
Yes.
Ladies and gentlemen, just to give you an idea, Manila Science High School is not just any regular grade school and high school. These are schools that are for scholars and for gifted children who are a little or above most or above average. So the teaching, the curriculum, the standards and the disciplines deployed are actually quite higher, more difficult, more advanced. Correct me if I'm wrong.
And if I may say, just to give you a background of
sige.
Manila Science High School, Manila Science High School was established specifically for the purpose of meeting the special needs of gifted and talented learners.
Kasi naboborma ngayon pag regular school.
And this is why it has higher admission standards and more rigid screening process. And it has a curriculum which has math and science subjects which are heavier in scope and more advanced than those in regular high schools. And because of their exceptional abilities, they can, despite the heavier in scope and advanced math and science subjects, they can master it within a period of 4 years only.
What is your complaint about, attorney?
Now,
maybe you can explain to us now.
I mentioned earlier that by the way, the curriculum of Manila Science High School is a special science curriculum patterned after the Bronx High School of New York. Now, what happened when the K-12 basic education curriculum was implemented? Many of the subjects of that curriculum were discarded. In effect, the special science curriculum was diluted, weakened, to the point that it violated the right of our children to the education that they're entitled to as gifted and talented learners. The Child and Youth Welfare Code recognizes the right of the gifted child to be given the opportunities to develop his special talents.
So Manila Science High, kinuha ang curriculum sa Bronx High School
of New York.
That's the 4-year course or 6 years. 4 years yon.
4 years.
The 4-year course. But when it was brought here, it was diluted? Is
No,
what you're saying?
It was the curriculum of Manila Science for the last more than 50 years has been patterned after Bronx High School of New York.
Wherein the sciences are advanced?
Yes.
Okay.
But with the implementation of the K-12 basic education curriculum, this special science curriculum patterned after the Bronx High School of New York was diluted.
Ayun.
No?
So, anong nangyari?
Nawala yung maraming math and science subjects na nawala.
Tinanggal sa 4th year, 3rd year.
Oo.
To accommodate para kasi there's 2 extra years. Parang ganun lumalabas.
Eventually, we saw the senior high school curriculum. Some of these subjects were transferred to senior high school.
So it's just an extension, an exasperation of a 4-year course that has been working for gifted children.
Yes, for the last more than 50 years.
More than 50 years. Dinagdagan mo 2 taon, pero yung pinag-aaralan, one and the same.
Yes.
Anong spirit ba ng K-12? To make it easier on the students or to add more an additional and a stronger curriculum to make them even brighter, to educate them even more?
No.
It seems it's a dilution. Is that what you're saying?
In effect, it
In
diluted, but that is not the intent of the law. Because the very title of the law is Enhanced Basic Education Program. The law intends to enhance, to improve the curriculum, not to dilute it. In fact, in the implementing guidelines of the law, it expressly provides that there was, in the primer of DepEd, a question was raised, what will happen to science high schools? The answer was, they will remain a science high school with a more enriched curriculum. And the implementing guidelines of the law, RA 1 of the law that implemented the RA 10533, it expressly provided that there will be a comprehensive program to meet the special needs of gifted and talented learners. In other words, the very implementation is in contravention of the very intent of the law.
Ayun. Because ang ginawa, in-expand lang.
In-expand.
In-expand lang. Parang ganun
And
lang.
insofar as Manila Science, the curriculum was weakened, diluted.
So, kesa palakasin pa, ang ginawa lang, pinahaba lang ng 2 taon.
Oo.
Kawawa yung mga parents, kawawa na yung mga bata.
Kawawa yung mga bata.
Kawawa
Parang
mga bata.
ipinagkait sa kanila yung edukasyon na siyang karapatan nila, no? Na matutugunan lang ng special science curriculum.
Before we discuss executive legislation and how this hullabaloo has come to pass, how it even happened, what is the urgency from your point of view and the complainants in this case?
Now, there is, ordinarily, you follow the hierarchy of courts. You do not go directly to the Supreme Court. But this is a case that there is utmost importance, extreme urgency, which warrants direct resort to the Supreme Court, to a petition for certiorari, prohibition, and mandamus. Now, what is the urgency? Now, colleges and universities, one of our objectives is to, we are praying that the K-12 basic education curriculum and the 2 additional years of senior high school be annulled and set aside. Annulled and set aside.
Permanent.
Of course, permanent, no? But of course, part of it is ATRO, no?
Initial.
Now, what if the prayer or what we intend to achieve by this petition will be rendered nugatory if our children will not be able to take the college entrance test.
Which is next month.
And that is the extreme urgency of this petition. We are praying that a temporary restraining order be issued, among others, to direct colleges and universities to allow our children to take the college entrance tests.
Because they qualify.
Because they qualify.
Attorney, we're going to have to take a short break. Ladies and gentlemen, to help us understand, there is that urgency because there's the college entrance exam. May iwan nga naman mga bata pag hindi sila kumuha ng mga examin kasi mag-umpisa na mga kolehiyo. But there's another issue. It's called the executive legislation. Ito na naman itong administrasyon at ang mga tau-tauhan nila in the Student Council presidency that rushed this law, made it a law without actually going through what you call Congress and then up to the Senate. And in spite of that, assuming nakakalusot na sila, ang nagiging problema dito, one of the provisions of the law that they created on their own requires certain type of what you call consultation with the academe, to formulate the guidelines called the curriculum. Hindi yung 4 na taon, dadagdagan mo 2 taon ng senior high school, pero yung ginawa mo, tinanggal mo yung 3rd and 4th year, hinati mo yung kinukuha nila doon, lalagay mo dito. Anong ginawa mo? Pinatagal mo lang ng 2 taon. Natutubad, dumami ba yung pinag-aaralan? Mas gumaling ba yung bata? O mas nagbayad lang yung mga parents ng extra 2 years? Stay with us, we'll be right back. At himayin po natin ang tinatawag na executive legislation, which is actually, between us all, prohibited. We'll be right back. Is it